Hi, my name is Jessica and I am a nursing student. I live in the greater Los Angeles County area and I'm currently attending Pacific College in Costa Mesa. This is my first year as a nursing student and I am pursuing my associates in nursing and then will be pursuing my bachelor's. I didn't always want to be a nurse. I actually wanted to be a police officer, but there are two specific events in my life that made me change my mind. And the first event was my first overseas mission trip to the country of India. I had never been overseas before, and so the fact that it was a third world country really opened my eyes to a lot that I didn't experience here in the States. One of them being the poverty, another being the health conditions of the people. I had never heard or seen of leprosy or seen entire groups of people have HIV or AIDS. And so it wasn't just heartbreaking, but I felt a need and a desire to want to bring so much more to these people than just papers or clothing. There was so much that they needed as far as their health. And that was something that stirred me so much that I knew that it wasn't a police officer that I was meant to be. It was the nurse that I was called to be. And it took a bit of a process. It was a bit of a struggle for me. However, after a few years, after doing what I had to do, here I am, many mission trips later, actually, having served with people overseas within my own community, and confirmation after confirmation, this is what I want to do. The second great event in my life was the passing of my grandmother. She was on hospice care before she died of pancreatic cancer. It was one of the most devastating moments in my family's life and also my own, but also one of the most rewarding. I say that it was one of the most rewarding and beautiful events, though it was hard, because of the fact that we got to provide a part of the bedside care for my grandmother. It was humbling to know that in her vulnerability, we had the privilege to not just serve her, but also to care for her in such a way that she had never been cared for before in her life. So now, I want to be able to do that for others. I realize that nursing isn't just bedside care, but it also takes a good leader to be a nurse. And that's the impact that I want to make in going into the nursing or the healthcare field. I want to be able to inform, educate, and care for those who don't have that same information that I have access to. I want to also be able to inform the generation behind me to know that they can be a good nurse with good leadership skills while also having great care for their patient at their bedside. And in a few years, I hope to be able to make that impact not just within my local community, but overseas as well. I believe that I'm called to do work overseas because it's a privilege. It's a privilege to be able to serve these people. The inspiration behind me wanting to become a nurse and the motivation is people. I think everyone has their share of struggles and trials, but because of the community that I have around me, I've learned that anything is possible. One person in particular is my aunt, who is a nurse. And my grandma came into this country being an immigrant, and yet my aunt had this crazy mindset that no matter what the trials were gonna be, what the struggle was gonna be, she was gonna become a nurse because that was what her mind was set to be. She has been there with me in this journey to remind me that it's going to be hard. It's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be just about saving lives, but it's gonna be about doing your best and knowing at the end of the day that you did all that you could in order to help a person or a patient. One thing that I love to do is play music. I sing and I play the guitar, and I hope that one day I can actually incorporate this into the nursing field. From previous experiences, people love music, whether it's an instrumental, whether it's jazz or R&B. It brings so much comfort to a person and it can bring back so many memories. And I'm looking forward to the day where those two worlds can combine. If you set your mind to it, you can do it. It's something that my dad always used to tell me when I was younger. It sounds a little bit corny, but I realized after waiting a few years to finally get into nursing school, because my mind was set to it, that I truly can do it. And no matter the struggle that it's gonna be, so long as I set my mind to do what I believe I wanna do, then I'm gonna accomplish it.